there's Dad working on the holes, and there's Mom and Rob working on our patio. And in 2 weeks, on May 12th, the cement guys are going to come and fill in our holes. And those boxes are our concrete forms. They surround the holes where the concrete's gonna go. And there's Midnight. And there's Mom and Rob again. And this is our creek, and as you can tell, it's really high. All the snow melted, and so it has gone in. And there's the dog shaking. In parts of it, Midnight has to swim. And as you can see, it's almost overflowing the log. And there's Midnight trying to find a stick that I just threw. And she's not doing a very good job of it. Not trying to get another stick. See, the creek is very deep, as you can tell. And the dog's swimming about halfway downstream. And she's gone. Just a minute. You can see the dog gotten the stick. And now she's shaking. There you go. Okay, this is our larch tree. And I am looking at it from the door, from where the doorway of our cabin will be. This is our patio with wood around the corners because we're trying to see if it's level. And there's Dad, and there's Mom, and there's Rob, and somewhere around here's the dog. There's our forms with our string to see if it's level. There's some more patio. Getting that cemented when we fill in the holes. Oh, there's the dog.
Here we are Sunday morning and getting ready to go, but this is all of our holes ready for concrete, and down there is going to be the patio out in front. Over there underneath the larch tree is the forms that will go on top of these holes to make the 6 inches above the ground that the inspectors wanted. There's their family. The first slack time of the whole weekend. There's absolutely no snow left. We burned up a bunch more stuff down by where we parked the truck. This is the first weekend we've been able to get the minivan down here. So we've got it down here. We've had another beautiful weekend. The creek is real high. And I'll go down there in a minute and take some more pictures. But everything is starting to green up. It's our larch tree. And it's starting to bud out and stuff. And it looks kind of cool. So it'll be interesting to see that again in 2 weeks and see what it looks like. The log that we were crossing on last August and September, and now most of the time, a lot of times the water runs over top of it. The creek is not frozen at all anymore, and it runs really high this time of the year. The kids have been pretty much staying out of it this weekend just because it's running so high. part of the creek is right in front of the cabin. And it's kind of neat because you can really hear it up even at the truck where we're parked. There's Tom and Rob. They're clear up at the fence line. And the dog. There's Rob coming up the road. And there's Tom and the dog. But the grass is all starting to turn green, and it has changed a lot in the last 2 weeks. This is down at the north property line. This little piece of land right in here is where we were crossing last year. Last summer we put in the fence. Now the creek has eroded the dirt and stuff so much that it looks like it could break through any time. We could have a new creek outlet here. That is on Marion's place, but this tree will probably fall on the fence. There's our fence, and it survived the high waters and the winter. Kathy likes the way the branches are hanging in the fence and the water goes over them. And the bank in here is getting pretty eroded because there is an awful lot of water. You'd be hard pressed to walk through here now. In towards Marion's place in her field. But the creek is really big this time of the year. It'll be fun to start fishing in about another month. More of the creek. And the bushes are starting to get green. It's still pretty brown around here, but I think in 2 weeks when we come back, it'll probably be pretty green again. The weather was a lot nicer this time. It's been in the 50s during the day, and at night it's been between 20 and 30, so it hasn't really froze a lot. Even this morning when it was 20, it was barely frozen. It probably didn't freeze till about 4 o'clock this morning or something. So it's been a great weekend. We're hoping for this weather in 2 weeks when we pour concrete. And the concrete guys were here on Friday afternoon and talked to Tom and Kathy, and they just said this road's going to be great for the concrete truck. That it's wide, it's pretty solid, and unless it rains a whole bunch, they really don't see a problem with it. So that was good news. These concrete guys also have street rods, so it was kind of fun for Tom to have a chance to talk to them. There's also a street rod, or an old car museum in Curlew, and we hope sometime this summer to get up there and check it out. In our spare time, of course. And even from here, you can see where the cabin's going to be, right in there, and then where we parked the truck and the van. 12th of May, and we are here to pour concrete. There's the kids on their brand new mountain bikes out for the first time, trying to see how things are going to go. They're headed down Bar Trough. We lost a chain coming off of the trailer coming in, and they're going to go see if they can find it. We are in the process of putting out the forms, and hopefully the weather will hold so that we can get the concrete truck in here today. So we have to get this done. It's before 7 o'clock, and we plan on getting those cement trucks in here today. Then it can rain all weekend if it wants, but we need to get that cement poured. Trailer. And it doesn't look too good just because it got so muddy on the way in. But it did travel okay and made it here in one piece. So that's its maiden voyage, and it's dirty enough to show. Looks like it's a black trailer almost. So, but it did make it on its first trip over here. This is the creek. 2 weeks ago, this same log, the water was barely up to the side. And now it's spilling over the log totally. We were going to have the forester come tomorrow and walk the property with us and give us some ideas about what we can do and how good of shape this place really is in, or isn't in. And now we don't have any way to get across the creek, so we have to call her today and cancel. Because most of what we need to look at is across the creek, and there's no way to get there. The water is very, very high and very, very swift. So the kids won't be spending much time down here this weekend. We never would have thought, though, that it would get this high. down at the far north fence. Tom and Kathy were down there yesterday, and they said that it still hasn't broken through that little outlet thing, but it looks like it could at any time. So we're going to keep an eye on it over the weekend. This is our larch tree. Looks really cool now that all those little buds that were just bursting 2 weeks ago have come out. The little leaves haven't spread out and stuff. They're still in these little clumps. But we were impressed how much everything here has changed in 2 weeks. The grass around the creek is starting to green up, and a lot of the birch and aspens and things around the area are starting to bud out and stuff. So spring really is coming to this area. There goes the kids. They made it to the top of the road, and they're off down the road to go see if they can find that chain. So we'll see them in a while. Oh, it's about 11 o'clock. We'll see them in a while. Oh, it's about 11 o'clock. And sometime in the next hour, the cement truck will show up. We called about 9:30, and the weather's holding, and so we arranged to have the concrete come early so we could hopefully get this in before it does rain. We have all of our forms in, and there's Kathy reading her book, and she's going to be our official photographer while we try to get this concrete in. And we've got our slab ready, and hopefully we'll get this done before any rain comes and not have too many problems.
Here's the dump truck coming down the road. Oh, there goes Mom up to help the truck driver.
This is the right place, isn't it?
There he is, and he's about ready to go into the corner.
Hard to run up that hill.
Oh, and he stopped right at the corner. And here he is coming out to the cabin. This is where the guy is going to park to pour the holes for the cabin and the patio. There's Rob, Mom and Dad, and there's the truck driver. I think his name is Jim. Mom and Dad, get ready to pour the cement in the first hole. Here is the cement going down the chute, and they're about ready to fill the first hole. Finally, cement for the first hole. And this is what it looks like. That is what it looks like when it's all done and full of cement. I think we're going to take the forms out. This will stick up about a half an inch. About half an inch, maybe an inch, something like that. And this is how easy it goes with the cement truck. It just falls right down and fills the hole in. Pretty easy. You see, they can already start to see it going.
Yeah.
Goes up awfully fast. Won't be half bad. Shouldn't take us within about an hour. I think that's it. We have all 15 holes done, and he's pouring the cement for our patio. It's not bad. He says we should have just enough to do it. Here comes the cement. As you can see, the first of it is just gone. He's pouring the top layer, or the layer closest to me, in there. And Mom's shoveling. These are the tracks that the cement truck made, and they are very big. It's pretty amazing what that much weight can do to the ground. Oh, it's not the 11th, it's the 12th. The camcorder is a day off. Here's Mom, and she's shoveling out the concrete to get it all level for our patio. And it looks like we're gonna have just enough. Should be about the perfect amount. They are trying to figure out what level is for the patio. And it looks, it'll use up all the concrete, and it should be enough to get it perfectly level. Right now, the guy, I think his name's Jim, he is cleaning out his truck.
I told him that it'd be a lot easier than trying to back around that.
The truck, the cement truck, is leaving now. After he's finished. And
I didn't have time for lunch!
as you just heard, the guy He's at Mom Boat.
Well, we made it. It's now about 3:30 and we got the concrete poured and everything's pretty well smoothed out. There's our patio. May not look like that the finished product, but that's what we've got. Tom's finishing out smoothing out the last of the piers and it all went pretty smooth considering the holes that the cement truck left in our property. This is where he backed up so he could pour this side, and he was partially empty when we did this. This is the other side that he left when he first pulled in. Left some pretty good sized ruts, and this is where he first backed in and we had our first encounter. This is when the truck was really full. Bird has got a nest right there in the branches right by the truck, and there's like 3 eggs in there, and she doesn't like that we're all so close, but it is pretty cool watching her sit here. So she isn't attacking anybody, but it is in the tree right at the end of the branch, which is an unusual place you would think for them to nest. This is the north end of the driveway at the corner, and you can see the cement truck went pretty far in when he came around this way. He mainly did this when he was coming in. He did have some trouble. I'm going to take a walk up the road and we'll take a peek and see what other damage is done, if any. This appears to be pretty bad in here. This is the corner, but when he left he just whipped right out of here, so it must have been mainly he sunk in when he came down. The rest of the corner, he actually didn't do too bad. I think if we bring a shovel down and smooth some of this out, we'll be okay later. Up the hill, and as you can see in here, he didn't do any damage at all. So if he just hurt that one little part at the corner, we're doing really well. And it has rained here most of this last week, from what they have told us. So we're real pleased with how well the driveway held up under all that weight. See here where he sank down pretty good on this lower side of the driveway. It didn't look like he'd done much damage, but he sunk down a good 1.5 inches or so from what we drive in. So there is a ridge going up here, but this is the softest side of the driveway. From up here you can see where we've poured. Looks pretty cool. Tom's working on the cement slab. Starting to look like something's really going to be there. For us, this was a monumental weekend. Getting this done on time really will put things on a pretty good schedule for the rest of the summer. Plus, this is the one part that really hinged on the weather and getting someone else in here to do a job. So we're real pleased that this has gone off so well today. This is the upper half of the driveway, and it really looks pretty good considering the weight that came through here. So this is the top of the driveway, and as you can see, he sunk in pretty good right in here, but it took a lot of maneuvering to get him through that gate. His truck just barely fit after going through that tight corner. And this is the soft shoulder of the road. So we're real pleased everything held up okay. Come up here and do a little bit of smoothing out too, just so we don't have permanent ruts in here that are a real pain with the van and stuff. At the cabin from the driveway, right at the top of the gate. And I'm going to have to leave here in a minute and run down to Chesaw and use the phone to call. We had a forester lady who was going to come tomorrow morning, and we're going to have to cancel since we can't get across the creek. And the main place we wanted her to help us with was across the creek. So we'll have to postpone that for probably about a month when the water goes down so we can get across. Well, it's Saturday morning about 10 o'clock, and this morning we've already taken all the forms off the footings, and we took the forms off from around the slab. The noise you had heard was our generator. Tom's down cutting the first beam to stick in so we can start leveling out all of our beams. And we're off and running. Here's the kids' new bikes. And they've been out riding already this morning. They went down Bar Trough and quite a ways. They think they rode about a mile. So these are their new bikes. And they've been having a lot of fun. I expect this summer they'll put a lot of miles on them and become mean, lean biking machines. So they've been having a good time with those. It's a very, oh, there's Kathy and Rob getting ready to go on a biking run with their water bottles. And there's Rob. And there's Kathy. And today's a really nice day. We were lucky it didn't really ever rain yesterday after we poured the concrete, so we were just really pleased with the way things have gone. So hopefully today will be a nice day. Getting ready to head down Myers Creek Road down towards Cheesaw. There goes our demon Rob. They're doing pretty good about riding up and down the hill. And Kathy's still trying to get herself all set up. Got to take her bike in and have it looked at. The gears are all messed up, even though this is only the second time she's had it out. But she's hanging in there. It's about 12:30. Hanging in there. It's about 12:30. And we have the posts cut, except for a few in the middle. And Tom's over here getting ready to cut the first beam to length. We're moving right along. It's about 4:15. We've got all the posts and beams in place. Tom is about ready to start cutting the braces to hold the posts and the beams together while we get the building all squared up and everything. Well, we've got all the bracing, well, some of the bracing in. And this is what the cabin looks like from the back looking towards the creek. And there's Kathy, working hard, listening to a book. And there's Rob. I think he's trying to pretend like nobody's looking at him. Saturday morning. Saturday morning, May 20th. And Tom and Rob came over yesterday afternoon and they started working on the cabin. So now we have most of the joists down and they brought over the plywood. It's now about 8 o'clock Saturday morning and it's about 30 degrees. It got pretty cold last night. Rob's out riding his bike, trying to convince Kathy that they should go for a ride. I'll go up in a few minutes and take a picture from the up by the road, and we can look at the cabin. And our baby birds that were sitting in the tree last weekend, they're now hatched. I'm going to go over and see if Mom's there and we can get a picture of them or not. Mom wasn't there a few minutes ago, so we'll see. It's our bird, but Mom came back. Evidently, it's too cold to be gone for very long, so we'll keep an eye on her all day and see if we can try to get a picture of her babies. He doesn't like it when we get too close for very long. But she's just got this nest way out here on the end of these branches. Never seen a bird do that before. Out in the tent last night with Midnight, and she said she stayed nice and warm and stuff. So it's the first time we've had one of the kids sleep in the tent here. It seemed to work very well. We're working on this wood pile. And he's doing pretty good. He's whittling away at it, and we might try to get a fire going later on today or something, depending on how we do on the cabin. And right here where this hole is where the outhouse is going to go. We hope to start putting it up next weekend if we can get some of the wood cut this week. It's very hard to get things done in just a few days' time before we have to load up and come back. But we still have lots of projects to work on all summer. This is the joist of the floor. Tom has, gone just a little, he's gone out about 12 feet, so we're about just a little over halfway with all the joists. And then we have the plywood, which is the subfloor, and also the flooring for the front porch. So we'll be working on that today. Well, our large tree is now all out in leaf. It's all nice and green. Then we'll wander down here and take a look at the creek because it's still running pretty rough. See, the creek is still running over the log. So in a week's time, not much has changed there. However, the greenery around the bushes around the creek and stuff have taken on a lot more color and stuff this last week. Over here, these bushes were still all just branches, and now they've all got leaves on them. Next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and so we are talking about bringing the brush cutter and trying to get some things cleaned up a little bit around here. We will try to work on the outhouse some, but we may just come and kind of have fun and take a weekend off. We have been working pretty hard the last few weeks. Just another shot of the creek, just up from the log where we were looking. Another shot of the creek. The night testing it out.
This is a picture of a windstorm. They're putting down the subfloor. Here's a picture of Mom really working hard for once. Any more bike trails? That me and Kathy made. I did most of the work. I was the first one to ride on it. Hey, here are the trees where Kathy worked really hard to get them cleaned up so I could ride my bicycle through there. Myself about the trail. She did some work. Kathy's idea of trail work. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I hope so. One of the skinny parts of the trail, but here's the creek. There's Kathy running away from the camper. They're standing next to the tree. Here's one of the trees you have to push our bikes over. I hope it can get cleaned up one of these days. This is the tree that Kathy said loves me because it never lets go of me. down in the exits to the trail, but there's one other one that's farther down. This is a log that the water's going over. It's all smooth, so it looks like a waterfall. And I just thought it was pretty cool. This is my favorite tree, I think, because it looks really cool, all splintered. And I got a piece of wood out of it last weekend. It's at home. And there's the dog who's tagging along with me and Rob. It's a picture of a Blanchapple Creek. It's like a big swamp in here now. And there's Kathy's tree again.
Hi. My stick.
She's trying to act lovely here.
This is my stick. I'm gonna marry it.
Oh, goody, goody, goody!
No.
Well, Kathy said not after I turned off the TV. She does not, or off the camcorder. She does not want to marry the stick. I repeat, she does not want to marry the stick. Last weekend, me and Dad found this on Friday.
And Kathy,
Me and Dad found this before Rob and Mom came.
this is Kathy's voice. I repeat, this is Kathy's voice.
And we don't know what got killed. Dad thinks it's a crow, but I think it could be a pheasant or a grouse
I
maybe.
would have to agree it's a crow just because we're the pheasant.
This spot in the creek looks like it's just about ready to overflood. It gets any higher. And I was throwing a stick in here for midnight, but she wouldn't go and get it. And it's probably because the current's so fast. And then it drops off right over there in a waterfall. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty spiffy. The other side of it, there's another kind of cool waterfall on the other side. But you can't really see where it comes out very well because the trees in the way.
Well, it's Sunday morning, about 11:45, and we're getting ready to leave. We have the subfloor down, and we've covered it with plastic because it did freeze last night. And this morning Tom got the last of the deck in. So we got everything done again that we wanted this weekend. There's Kathy sunning herself. And there's Tom busy cleaning things up, and Rob just hid underneath the deck. This is the view from the front porch. This is headed south. And there's where we parked the truck. And there's the creek area. We're about 4 foot off the ground, the bottom of the top of the porch, so it's quite tall. And then this is headed north. Oh, there's Kathy again, to the north side of the property. It's Sunday about 4 o'clock on Memorial Day weekend, so we're going to be going home tomorrow. However, this is the first time we've gotten the camcorder out all weekend. We've been having fun playing more than anything else. Yesterday morning, first thing, we got up and we made the stairs for the cabin, so now we have stairs. This afternoon we're going to screw them onto the risers. We were letting them dry because they were too big and the boards were still wet, so we're letting them dry out in the sun today, and we'll see how they fit, and then we'll rearrange them from there. Kathy's sitting out in the sun drying her feet and her shoes. She thought it would be fun to go try out the creek and see how cold the creek was, and realized that it was a lot colder than she thought it would be. It's at least 80 today. Probably a little bit hotter than that in the sun. It's about 78 in the shade. Other than that, we haven't done much on the cabin this weekend. We won't be back now for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks when we come back, we'll be building the 13 trusses that we need for the roof. Everything is absolutely beautiful. This is the third week in a row we've been here with beautiful weather, and that's been wonderful. There's the trailer. Yesterday we worked on the trusses, and then we put 50 miles on the motorcycles. And in the afternoon we worked on the slash pile back here behind the truck. This morning we got up first thing and made a figure-8 bike trail for the kids to ride their bicycles on, and also that we can ride the motorcycles on. And that was a lot of fun. Then around 10:30, 11 o'clock, we started building a bridge, a footbridge to get across the creek. And I'm headed down that way so that we can, so I can show you what that looks like. Kathy's been sleeping in the tent, and our little birds that have been hatched over here, there's 3 in there. They're still there, and they've got all their little feathers now. And Mom doesn't spend a whole lot of time there. She's gone more than she's there. So I'll try to see if I can get a picture of them. Here's our little birds. You can see them right there. Oops, still a bit too close. They're right there. They're probably looking for Mom to, bring them some more food. But they're all got their regular feathers now. I expect in 2 weeks when we come back they won't be here. Again, we brought the motorcycles, and so that was a lot of fun. We had a really good time riding around yesterday. We went to Molson, and the guy who bought the Molson property has put a road, an access road in down on the other guy's property behind the machinery. And we were real surprised to see that. We didn't stick around very long because there was a gate and everything, so we just left. But we worked on the slash pile back here last night, and we got a lot done and made some new piles and stuff. So that was really cool too. Well, so far we haven't started working on the outhouse this weekend, and I don't know for sure what we're gonna do. Maybe later tonight. I also brought the brush cutter with us this weekend, and we did cut some of this brush, and Tom cut some tree branches, and it worked great. Back there in the background you can kind of see the footbridge, and I'm not sure what he's cutting over there, but he is cutting something, so we'll head down that way and check it out. Footbridge, as you can hear, the creek is right behind me. There's the post there. This bridge, these poles are about 40 feet long, and there's 2 of them side by side. The first one was a real killer. It's real wet wood, and it took us about 2.5 hours to get it in place. We cut one end off of a piece that was down in the creek around the bend here, and we used to come along and straps and rope and stuff to get it where we wanted it. The second one that you can see on this side was a dead piece that had fallen over on the other side of the river, and we were able to pick it up and heave and hoe it and roll it on other pieces of wood to get it into place. That took us about 45 minutes, so that was really cool. Tom's up there in the trees cutting some wood. Behind these trees across the creek is where they logged before we bought the place. So there's lots of firewood and down trees and who knows what up there. But the one thing we will not run out of here soon is firewood. Another look at our footbridge, and you can see the 2 logs. Tom's talking about taking some 2x4s that we have left here and putting them across the boards to help make them not so wiggly when you walk across them. But it worked out real slick, and we're pleased to have a way to finally get across the creek without having to walk clear to the other end of the property. And Tom and Rob are back up there in the trees cutting wood. The log that we cut for the bridge started right over here, and we moved it down along the edge of the riverbank there and around this bunch of trees and come along it up into place, into position there. It was quite an interesting feat. Looking to the north on the creek, and down around the corner there is the log that we used to cross last year. And as you can see, the water is still going over top of the creek, or over that log. So it's still pretty high. That's right there, the log that we were crossing. There's lots of green grass and it's really pretty. It's our footbridge from the other side of the bank looking towards the cabin. And through the trees there you can just barely see the cabin. You can see part of the creek down in here was all covered in water just a few weeks ago. It gets real high. So we're a little bit concerned about our bridge washing away next fall or next spring, but we're going to work on that and see what we can come up with. This is across the creek, and this is where they did a bunch of logging before we bought the property. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff down. This here is a tree that we think has fallen just this year during the winter and during the storms and stuff. Down north, this is facing north, and north of here is where the logging road is, where they picked up all the logs. A lot of in here is we think that they cut them down and skidded at them. Hopefully one of these days we will have this all cleaned up as well. It's just like never enough hours in the day. It's June. It's June 26th and it's in the evening, and as you can see the cabin has changed drastically since the last pictures. We were here 2 weeks ago and got the floor all in and got the stairs on, and then we came back and then we came one weekend and we built all the trusses, and that was about the 17th or so of June, or earlier than that. And anyways, we came back here on the 21st of June with our neighbor Jim, and he helped us get all the walls up and the trusses up onto the walls and get the front porch done. And yesterday Tom and Rob came back, and Tom got started putting the siding, the sheathing on for the siding. And so now I'll take a walk up and show you more of the cabin. This is the front of the cabin. As you can see, it's all sheathed. And there's the front door and the window that faces the creek. And the window that Tom's cutting out right now is the one that faces the south. And that's in like what would be the kitchen area. And we have the porch. And there's our stack of plywood that's going to go on the roof and on the sides of the house. We're going to sheath the whole outside first, and then we're going to work on getting the roof up. We think it'll stabilize the building more and make it safer for being up on the roof when we do that and put the roofing on. And there's our roofing, the metal roof, and we hauled that over on Wednesday when we came over. This is the back of the cabin, and Kathy wanted it on video looking straight down the roof lines and stuff. She thought the peak looked real cool. But these two windows just overlook the road, so we can see who might be coming or going, or if there's any critters up here. The north side of the cabin, and it's a little bit difficult to see, but there is one small window that overlooks this side of the cabin also. And it's for us just to be able to see out this end and to make the cabin not quite so dark inside. And as you can see, it's quite tall in the front of the porch. It's about a little over 4 feet off the ground, from the ground to the top of the porch. Side view of the porch. This is the view looking out the west facing window from what would be the kitchen area. And there's Kathy coming back from the creek with the dog. She and Rob have been down there playing. Oops. So she's headed down towards the truck. And this looks down over the creek. And our larch tree. This is the south facing window. And there's our ladder from Tom working outside there. But it looks down over where we've been parking the truck, and down towards the slash piles. and you can see the driveway gate at the top up there. This is looking out the east window in the south side of the building, and it just looks, like I said before, out along the road and the meadow behind us. These windows are pretty tall, and that's because we just wanted them for being able to see out, not for a real view or anything. It's the northeast window looking out. There's the aspen trees and the road. This is the north window facing out, and the sun's in kind of a weird spot, so it's kind of hard to get pictures. But this is looking down towards Marion's place, and that's down along the creek where the trees are, right down there. Trying to get some pictures here. It's a little difficult because the sun is setting, so things are kind of strange. But between yesterday and today, we've gotten the whole house sheathed on the sides, and we've got the whole roof sheathed in. And Tom is on the opposite side of the cabin right now working on putting on the roofing. So I'll go around there and take a picture in a minute. Rob is busy hauling dirt from the slush pile over here on the south side of me, filling in the holes that the concrete trucks left when they were here, so that we don't kill ourselves as all this stuff fills in with grass. As you can see, we've just been really busy. It's been kind of a hectic couple days. Yesterday morning I went down to Chesaw to make some phone calls and got our building inspector out here, and I ended up with a flat tire in the van. And this morning we ran out of propane, and I had to go get my tire fixed and go get propane at 7:30 this morning. So it's been kind of a hectic couple days, and that's why we haven't had much in the movie department. Let me go to the other side of the cabin. Well, this is the north side of the cabin, and there you can see the roofing going on. We have 3 sheets up, and it's really a bugger. It's really slippery, and it's very hard to reach over. Our stuff is 3 feet wide, and it's just too far to reach across to put the screws in the seams. And so Tom is having to stand on the screw heads in the center part to put the screws in the seams. And so it's kind of dangerous, and it's pretty weird. Here's a picture of Tom up on the roof, so you can see how precarious of a position it is to put this stuff up. I'm standing on the screw heads to put it in along the seam because the stuff is so slippery. But this is halfway on this side, so we're only a quarter of the way done. We still have 4 sheets to go on this side. It's Saturday or Friday on this side. It's Saturday or Friday morning, about 8 o'clock, and we just put in our first window. And this is on the north side of the cabin, and now we're getting ready to put in the ones on the back. And we've got this part of the roof done, and then we started doing the chimney and the roofing on the other side. And later in the day I'll take some pictures of that because it's too sunny over there right now. Well, it's Saturday morning at 9:30, and we haven't taken many pictures lately because we've been so busy. We have the whole roof sheathed, or roofed I should say. This is the last piece on the second side that Tom's putting on now, and he's getting ready to fasten down the ridge cap, and then we'll put the last piece of facing on the edge over the front of the fascia boards, and then it's all done. We spent most of yesterday morning finishing the chimney for the stove, so when we get our stove all we have to do is bring it in and put it in. And as you can see, we have all of our windows in. So today too, before we go home, Tom's going to work on putting in the door. Flip the finished product looks like. And there's the rest of our low windows. Well, we're getting ready to leave. Well, we're getting ready to leave in the next hour or so, and we have all the roofing done, and we have all of our windows in, and now Tom is putting in our front door, so I'll go take a picture of that. Front of the cabin with the window and the door, and there's Kathy reading a book. And we have our front door. We're up on the southwest corner of the property, up on the hill, and this is the slope where the cow run, where the cows were going up and down last year and for the last several years to get water. And as you can see, there's a lot of green around here. It's mainly weeds, but we're hopeful that this is going to help keep the bank in place and not have this whole area slide. And this is the area where those pine trees have the root canals, as Kathy calls them. But even down at the bottom of the hill, things are you know, there are things growing so that nothing should roll away in the rains. And this is looking across the road at the southeast corner of the property. Right over there is the corner. And this is going towards the north. Driveway, and this is headed north. This is down towards the creek. We're up on the hill about midway across the top of the flat place up here, and you can see the cabin. I don't know, oh, it's not going to get it that way, but you can see the cabin up here. Pretty cool. We're back at the property. Pretty cool. We're back at the property. It's been about a week and a half since we were here, but Tom is teaching Kathy how to ride the motorcycle that Jim gave the kids, and so I'm going to try to sneak down and get some more movies. There she goes. This is the first time we've been able to get this motorcycle to run for more than 3 minutes. She's doing really good. It's pretty scary stuff. Working hard on the cabin too. Today we have gotten the insulation in the ceiling, and we've also got most of the insulation in the walls. And so next time we come, we'll have to bring the insulation that goes underneath the floor and then get it inspected and get that covered up. We've also painted the wood that is the foundation part of the cabin. Painted it gray. It was brown and it just looked awful, so we did paint that today too. This is the north side of the cabin since I painted it. Kathy! What a girl! This motorcycle is very difficult to ride. As you can tell, it doesn't sound like anything normal. Good stop. Well, this goes Kathy on her third trip around the little track here Rob's made, going around the front meadow here. And this is her third trip around there, so it's really good that she has done this just on her first 10 minutes being on this motorcycle. So... Well, here comes Rob. This is my XL100, and this is his third lap around the property here in the front, but he's just found out how to ride my motorcycle. So he's learning how to ride a real motorcycle because his feet don't quite touch the ground. But he doesn't want to shift it out of first gear yet. This is Kathy on her second round on the motorcycle. It took a little while to get it going, but she's doing a really good job. Well, here it is late afternoon, and Kathy and Rob have been riding the XL all day. They have done really good, and they are just having a blast. This is Kathy, and Tom made two trails up on the hill over here where the kids could ride. Kathy just went on the little short one, which was the first trail we made for them. And then he also cut in another trail down at the end of the property where the kids could ride. Rob, in the meantime, has gotten out the 70 and is going to try to ride that. It's not being very cooperative. Over here, there's also a trail that goes up the side behind the cabin and back down to the other end that the kids have been riding on. So I was hoping Kathy would go up that way, but because Rob is stuck down here at the end of the trail, she's having a little bit of problems deciding where she's going to go here. These weeds, the piles you see out here in front of the camper there, are piles of bull thistles that we picked last weekend from down below, and those we plan on burning tonight. They've all dried in the sun this last week. There's Tom sitting on the cabin, and this morning we got all the insulation in underneath and try to get some pictures of that. There's Kathy on that one little trail again, and Rob should be coming around the end here pretty soon. You can hear him coming. There he comes. And there's Kathy down there. Hopefully this time when she comes by, she'll be able to go up her other hill. They're trying to be very careful and not run into each other down here on the lower part. There's Kathy. And this time she's going to go up the hill that goes up behind the cabin. And keep in mind, they just started riding motorcycles at all last weekend. So we're really pleased that they've done so well and mastered so many things. There goes Rob. See, and there's Kathy. sounds like Rob's motorcycle has died. Here comes Kathy again. And there goes Rob. And he'll probably take the longer route that Tom fixed up for them. Oh, he's taking the short one too. And then in a little while, Kathy and Rob will switch places, and Kathy will ride the little bike and Rob will ride the big one. Oh, Kathy's down the hill. This is inside the cabin, and as you can see, we have the sheetrock up on the walls, or I mean the insulation up on the walls and the ceiling. And last night and this morning we noticed it was remarkably warmer in here than it has been, because the insulation is in the ceiling and as well. So there's some pictures that we do have our insulation in. On the motorcycle through the window, looking to the south. And here comes Kathy, and she'll be going up the hill here. There she goes. It's a pretty steep hill. Well, this is Rob riding the XL, and he just got on it off of the 70. Comes Rob going up the hill. Back around where he started. I'm mowing some more grass. I don't know if he's working on another path for the kids or if he's just trying to clear out some of that stuff. But he is down there mowing. And as you can see, it is starting to get drier. West side of the creek. West side of the creek, about halfway down from the cabin. And Tom was mowing in here this morning, later this afternoon, and they ran across a fawn that was buried in the bushes. We came back down because we just thought he'd be gone, but it'd be cool to see where he was laying, and he's still in here. Tom's back here now taking a couple pictures of him, and I'm going to move in and try to get some videotape of him. This is our little guy, right down in there. Very difficult to see. There you can see him a little bit better. You can see his spots. He's very, very well camouflaged in there. There's a good picture of him. But they do blend right in to where he's very difficult to see. So far we've seen Nat hiding her hair of Mom, so we're not too sure what the deal is. Here's Tom taking some more pictures of him with the other camera. But as you can see, they hide out in very, very dense area with a lot of tall grass. There's Tom still taking his pictures, but as you can see, he's very well hidden in our little bushes here. And this is where Tom was mowing and came quite close to mowing over him. First spot where he was sleeping was right where these first trees are on the west side of Tom, the closest side of Tom here is where he was first laying, was right in there, and then he moved back there. So we're hoping now Mom will come pretty soon and claim him and he'll be just fine. Now we're back over here at the creek, or at the cabin side of the creek, and it's been almost a year since we've taken any movies. Here's Tom's truck. It came over for the first time without the canopy on it, but it did pull the trailer with full of motorcycles. And here's the cabin. We're almost done. This is basically all of the construction stuff that needs to be done. The railings just got put on today, and we need to put some plastic underneath it, but basically it's about ready for its final inspection. Inside we've gotten the beds put up and a new table in, and it's starting to look like home. And there's the van, and we've been here now for about a week. It'll be a week tomorrow on vacation, and we've been mowing grass and working over across the creek and just having a lot of fun. There's Tom and Rob back from our expedition of going and filming the fawn that we just had across the creek. And it's been a real nice day. We just got back from a motorcycle ride. But it is fun to get a picture in here of the cabin completed, and we are enjoying it immensely. Here we are on the 5th of July. Here we are on the 5th of July, and we're getting ready to leave to go home. There's Kathy, and there's Tom and Rob. Looks like the sun's in kind of a weird spot here today. But while we've been here for the last 2 weeks, we have put the railings on the cabin and repainted it all green. Before it was kind of a gray color. And so now it's all green. We built the water stand, and we now have a hummingbird feeder too, that we put up a few weeks ago. So here's the cabin all done up in its new colors. See if I can get a picture inside. This is the northeast corner of the cabin, and there's our bed, which we built 2 weeks ago, and the new curtains, which are going to be replaced because they don't work very well. But and here's where the kids sleep. This is the kids' bunk beds. Kathy's been sleeping on the top, and Rob's been sleeping on the bottom. And we have a coat rack on the back. In the southwest corner is where we've been cooking, and right here along this wall is where the cupboards will go. That'll be about 8 feet long in there. And there's our new kitchen table, which we got at a garage sale for $15, which has worked out to be a real find. And there's our wood stove, and in that corner we hope to put a cabinet where we can store coats and other things in there. Me and Dad hanging out, waiting for me to get done. Here it's me to get done. Here it's probably about the 19th, well, about the 20th or the 22nd. It's a Friday. And we have been here since yesterday. And this is the first time we've been back this year since the end of September when we were back. And as you can see, we've had a little bit of snow since we left last. Tom's a neighbor up the road, Joy, was very nice to let us use her snow rake. And we're trying to clean some of this weight off the roof of the cabin. As you can see, we have anywhere from 1.5 feet to 2 feet of snow on the roof, and it's been there as long as we can tell since probably December was when they had their major snowfalls here. There's Rob. We just have a ton of snow. This is the most we've seen here in the 2 years we've had this place, in the 2 winters that we've been up. It's gorgeous. Right now it's about 35 to 40 degrees, and it's about 1:15 in the afternoon. We woke up this morning and it was 2 degrees, so that's the coldest it's been in all the times we've been over here. So we've just been having fun. Yesterday we got here about 11 o'clock, and we spent a lot of time just hauling everything down here from the truck, because the truck is parked up on the road. And the tracks that you can see is we've got snowshoes this year for the first time, and we tromped around in our snowshoes a lot yesterday. This morning we walked up to Joy's house and hiked around in our snowshoes at her house some. So we're all kind of just resting, and Tom's trying to get the roof cleaned, and Kathy's inside hibernating for the time being. But it's real pretty, and everything is so quiet and nice. It's wonderful to be here. This is the log that we always cross in the summer, and as you can see, it's covered with snow, and there are parts of the creek that are open so that the creek is still running, which really surprised us because it has been as low as 38 below here in the last month. And Joy was saying that this is the nicest weather that they've had here in months, was the weather the last 2 days. It's been sunny and clear and gorgeous since we got here yesterday. Here's some more of the creek. But as you can see too, even underneath the trees there is a ton of snow, so it must have really snowed a lot when we were gone. Back over by the creek, looking up towards the road, and you can see way up there, you can see the truck. It's parked up there on the road. Oops, sorry about that. And we have about 4.5 feet of snow out there parked along the front of the driveway. And as you can see, even looking at the posts, there is those are the railroad ties that are sticking out for the fence gate, and there's not much of them sticking out. And it's just pretty awesome. There's just so much snow everywhere. And we have a trail. There you can see our trail that we made with our snowshoes that goes up to the truck. Oh, there's Rob. Oh, and Midnight came outside. She was pretty tired after our little trip up to see Joy. But I see she came out for a few minutes. Rob's putting on his snowshoes so he can go around and see what Dad's doing. Tom's out here in the field by the cabin only because he has snowshoes on. Otherwise, you sink in about thigh high, even on Tom. It's pretty impressive. So, Rob's gonna slide down the hill. Oh no! He's way, way off where he needs to be, so there's no snow path over there. So now he's going to try to figure out what to do. Well, he's going to try to slide over there on the sled and see if he can't get back over here to the... Because if he walks on the snow, he'll fall in up to his waist, practically. There he goes. And he makes it. Now he's in the snowshoe path. This is the footbridge. And as you can see, there's a lot of snow on our footbridge.
I lost those two up in there.
Yeah.
Those both rolls are gone. There's another one across the road up there. Ooh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's the cabin from the creek, looking towards the cabin. And then right down in here is where we want to put our new bridge this summer. We'll have to wait and see what happens after the runoff this spring. And back over in there is where eventually we'd like to stick a shed. This is the tree that fell down just north of the main log that we cross, and it's laying across the creek. And here you can see the creek is mainly frozen. There's a little spot where it's open, and then as you go down the creek, there's some more. You can see where we've lost another tree that's laying from the upper walk. There's a trail that goes up the hill over here, and this tree has fallen from that upper trail across the creek at the bend down here. And it looks like several trees may be down up over here on this side of the hill as well. We've lost a lot of trees so far this fall and winter, and we're not even done with the spring thaw, which many are afraid is going to be very bad with as much water as there is in all the snow. Here's another shot of that same tree right there. This is where the creek kind of splits, and in back behind this picture a little ways is where the other little leg of the creek is, and it's all frozen and snowed over. This is the hill just up above there with another shot, and you can see that there is several trees that are down or broken. This is looking more to the north of the creek, and this is the west side of the meadow, and this is looking north. I'm back up here at the northwest side, almost up to the boundary, and down here the creek is almost totally frozen over. Tom and Rob are somewhere just right across the creek because I can hear them talking. But there is a lot of snow down here. It's kind of overcast and weird this afternoon. It's about 3:30 or so right now, and I'm beginning to wonder if we might get some more snow tonight. It's just a lot weirder than it was yesterday. So, right up there is Rob and Tom. They're on the other side of the creek, up on the logging road. Can you guys wave? There they are. They crossed down by the main log where Tom almost fell in, and then Rob crossed. So they're kind of tromping around over there, surveying the damage from that side. Just ran across this little guy, looking for food. Oh gosh, this thing won't focus. But there he is, he's just jumping around. You'd think with me tromping through here, he would have flown the hoop, but he didn't, even though I was tromping through here when he came down here to eat. Poor little things. Must be hard this time of the year when there's so much snow. It's Saturday It's Saturday afternoon, about 2:30, and Tom, as you can see, has been very busy cleaning off the roof of the cabin. This is this really cool tool that Joy lent to us to clean it off with, and it's helped a great deal. There's not nearly as much snow off the other side because it's so much more icy than this side. But Tom's been working on it, and we've been tromping around in the snow in our snowshoes and just kind of playing around. In a little while we're going to take the rake back up to Joy's, even though she's gone, and then we'll head home tomorrow. Saturday, June 7th, and this is our new outhouse. We built it 2 weeks ago when we were here, and this weekend I managed to get it all painted. We got most of the inside painted as well before I ran out of paint. We'll bring some more with us later and get that finished. This is that first slash pile that we worked on to get cleaned up, and as you can see, Mother Nature's kind of reclaiming the area, and it looks a lot better than it did when we first bought the place. It's been a really nice day all day today, except that now it has started to get all overcast and little few sprinkles every once in a while, and we might get thunder and lightning shower yet this afternoon. This is our storage tree. You can see the chipper and the lawnmower and lots of other miscellaneous things underneath there. We keep things there when we're here more than anything so that they're out of the weather. Well, we're on vacation. We're on vacation, and we got here yesterday afternoon, and we're just getting ready. I'm working on dinner, but Tom's out teaching the kids how to use the .22. Rob's just been shooting, and Midnight's down there because she doesn't like it when the gun goes off, but they do really well shooting the BB gun, and they wanted to try something new.